We're back. It's October 20th, 2016. And last night we had the Cubs game and we had the debate, John. And guess what else?
Big win and a big disappointment.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, because the debate was, I thought, a complete disappointment for either side. I don't care which side you're on. The only positives I've heard about the debate really were that neither of them screwed up terribly bad, and that that was what we should watch for, because nobody screwed up terribly bad. That shows you the sorry state of politics today, Andrew.
I know. And the opening night for Hamilton in Chicago was last night. And, you know,
there's some good news. Yeah, that's some good news. That's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic for all of those traveling Hamiltons, by the way. They've got 5 of them, I think, Andrew. 5 shows travel across the country with Hamilton, you know, sticking around for months in each city because it's so crazy popular. And that's how you turn this thing into that kind of franchise where it's, you know, millions and millions, sort of like the Cats or Wicked or Phantom of the Opera kind of thing.
Jesus Christ Superstar, Annie, Godspell.
Yep.
Fiddler on the Roof. I'm dropping some 70s names. Hey, speaking of Hamilton, that's like McDonald's. The new McDonald's, they'll have a Hamilton sandwich. You know, they'll have a new drink out or something. I wonder, we have to come up. We have to do a whole show
on
good. Like the Big Mac.
It'll be good. It'll be, you know, people will go and, you know, push more money into downtown economies. I'm not saying it moves the needle a ton across the country, but in the cities that it's in, it'll, you know, you'll see more and more people will be in your downtown areas where those Hamilton is
I agree.
playing.
Wouldn't that be funny, though, if like they had like a Big Mac and they called the Hamilton? All right. So anyway, last night, because now I've seen Hamilton and I'm reading the book. In the book, they've left a lot of stuff out of the show that was in the book, in the Federalist Papers. And last night, everybody was screaming, "Oh, Trump's not going to accept the results." And then everyone goes on. It's like, we've had 216 years of, you know, uninterrupted power stuff. And then somebody tweeted out a letter of George Sr. saying Bill Clinton, you know, giving him a letter when he came into the White House and how gracious he was, and the transfer of power was all done, and everybody's freaking out over Trump's constitutional, not going to do it. And I'm thinking to myself, how stupid are these people? They are the dumbest. This is how dumb America's gotten. First off, Trump hasn't been elected. He doesn't hold any power. He's not transferring any power. And the Constitution on this matter goes back to transfer one party to another party. Back in 1800, when it was Jefferson, that's the one that got Hamilton killed, because he supported Jefferson. They ended up having a duel. But everybody's like, "Oh, he would never be as gracious as George W." I'm like, he doesn't even have power. And if it goes the way they say it's going to go, it's going to be Obama giving the power to Clinton, which is party to party. But aside from that, that's what they're talking about in the Constitution, the Federalist Papers. And it just has me just kind of scratching my head today going, God, we really are stupid as a country. Anyway, my 2 cents.
Schoolhouse Rock, that ABC program, Andrew, used to do a decent job explaining to people what the judicial branch, which is, of course, the courts, and the legislative branch, and, of course, the president, and how the three work, and how the laws start. Guess where? In the Congress. And, of course, anything with the purse starts in the House and so forth. But, it's got to be passed by both houses of Congress, and the president can sign it into law. And if you want to overturn something, it takes an awful lot. Well, yet the courts could rule something unconstitutional. That's how our system works. But how many people even understand that, Andrew?
Zero. You can't even watch TV anymore.
It's a small number that understand it. You are correct, sir.
But it's fun reading the book and knowing all the information. And it's like it's almost wish I had gone to law school and learned all this stuff. Anyway, people tuned in for stocks. You tweeted out earlier you had some, I guess not a story, but a position on HLT, Hilton?
Yeah, well, we had Rich Pzena on. Rich is a hugely successful manager, a money manager, who was helping us celebrate our 5th anniversary of the Halftime Report. And Rich is a big investor in Hilton. And I was asking him about, okay, you're going to hold the pieces when they spin it out? Because they're going to spin it, that is. They're going to have one piece that's a REIT, and another piece that's just the franchise and so forth. Because, believe it or not, folks, a lot of the hotels you and I stay in are not owned by the chain that we're staying in. Whether it's a Hilton or a Starwood or a Marriott or a Hyatt. Yeah, Andrew Coffey made a bunch of money. Andrew decides to open a hotel. Great. Andrew can put any brand on it that he decides, and then you get the marketing muscle of that particular brand, so that when people go to Chicago and they're looking for a Hyatt or a Hilton or a whatever it is, Marriott, they may stay at Andrew's property, and Andrew gives up a percentage of the room cost to that franchise. Now, there is no greater way to make money than to have a successful franchise like Hilton has, or like Marriott and so forth have, because it's not your money. Somebody else put up the $100 million for the hotel. You're getting the booking fee for the rooms in that hotel for owning nothing. So as much as they may complain about Airbnb, Andrew, a lot of those opportunities are just like Airbnb. Airbnb doesn't own the properties that go up on Airbnb. We all know that. But they take a spiff, a fee, a percentage for every room that goes up with those. Well, so I was asking Rich, I said, how much of an impact has Airbnb had on the hotel industry? And he said, it's been a big impact, because they definitely hold down the expansion of hotel rooms, because people worry that, well, what if we're at already kind of saturation, given that you've got 10,000 rooms in a given city that are hotel, and another maybe 5,000 or whatever that are Airbnb. Somebody could choose to operate or to put an apartment on for Airbnb, and all of a sudden they're competitor with Hilton. So anyway, Rich was saying, yeah, it's been a big deal. It holds down the capacity that hotels are willing to put on themselves, but on the franchise side of the business hasn't really had an impact. Anyway, I just thought his insights into that were pretty strong, so I just wanted to share a little of that here.
That makes sense, and it got me thinking. I don't know enough about Airbnb other than I've used it a couple times. Well, why couldn't you put your hotel room on Airbnb? Or will they let you? Or is it still a room, right? It's just the price.
I can't imagine you could make any money on it. I mean, again, you're paying $200. Well, you mean why couldn't Hilton put their rooms on there? They could.
Like one room.
They could.
Yeah.
They could. Absolutely could. But ultimately, I think they will try, just like the taxi and limousine companies will try to keep Uber out. Hotels will try to their best to keep, the competition from Airbnb. You've seen it in our place, Andrew. Our office, we're in a residential tower.
That's
and
right.
A lot of people want to put their rooms on Airbnb. And the board has told them, the board of our condo has said, no. Put them on, and we'll make sure you get fined.
$1,000 a night. Is that not a deterrent? What is? $1,000.
Exactly.
Put that in the elevator. You rent your room out, $1,000.
Got a couple stocks to talk about, though, other than, Advanced Micro. People were buying an awful lot of those calls at the 7 strike. This is with the stock trading at $6.95, I think, or $6.85 rather. And they were buying these things pretty aggressively. So watch that. Earnings after the bell tonight. Also earnings with Microsoft, Andrew. You and I talked about it earlier in the week when we saw some activity. Might be worth watching that one as well, especially at the end of the day. If you see a bunch of guys flying in on the put side, bearish. call side, bullish.
Unless they're selling the puts.
Yeah, so far they're selling the puts in there, so that's a bullish sign, at least that we don't go too far to the downside if we go to the downside.
Oh, I got something for you.
Go
Killing
ahead.
some time yesterday, so I went up to go see our friends over at Best Buy, made a little payment on my computer, and guess who was in the store?
Who?
Mr. Oculus Rift guy. I said, hey, nice, and he was climbing. He was virtual climbing. He's got an Oculus Rift shirt on. He's got the Oculus Rift department there. I said, you're kidding me. And he let my son play with the machine, which was like, I don't know, $600-700. And I'm thinking, I said, how long are you going to be here? He says, all through Christmas. I said, really?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they had it was a full display. I mean, they had a handler to show people how to use these things. Do you think they'll sell a few Oculus Rifts over the season?
I guess, but I mean, I don't want to say it's Google Glass, but the first take of virtual reality headset. Do you think any of us really want to spend that kind of money on that?
I totally get what you're saying, but you've got Facebook, FB, you've got Best Buy, BBY, and I'm going to say HPQ because the computer's going to cost you about $700 to $800, he said, minimum, to get in there to do the requirements. But say they sell a few of them, right? I'm not saying it's going to propel all their sales, but at least they're out there trying. They're competing, right? So when you walk into the Best Buy this holiday season, along with looking for your big flat screen 4K TV, somebody might walk over to the Oculus guy. I mean, how could you not, right? Anyway, just
very true.
My 2 cents. I don't know if it'll help. I don't know, which one of the three would you buy out of that? Who's going to benefit the most? Facebook, Best Buy, or say HPQ as a computer retailer?
I'd say Best Buy.
Yeah, because they'll just try it and then they'll walk over and buy the 4K TV anyway, right?
Yep. Once they get you in the store, that's, it's one of the reasons why when the 7 came out, and is obviously a bigger hit than anybody imagined because of the fires with the Samsung. Now, Google's going to do okay with the Pixel. We all know that. They'll get a benefit of the people that really didn't want Apple's ecosystem, that wanted an Android. Well, they'll get the Pixel if they have them in big enough numbers, too. But the Samsung problems, that's just great for Apple. But anything that brings you into a Best Buy is great for sales in a Best Buy.
All right. So,
because people don't just shop, they buy.
No, that's why they call it Best Buy. Ha, 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 ha. Get it?
I got it.
By the way, you got to get those Bose headsets for your phone.
I'm going to get them. I have to get them, in fact. But,
I'm telling you, step up, get the noise cancellation ones. They're all around. They're just, I'm telling you.
I might.
You put those things on, you can't hear anything, especially because you fly all the time. We know why you fly. You won't be able to hear anything. Mr. Moon Man going all over the place. Rocket Man. All right. Well, that's it. That's all we got today.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew. Remember, folks, you can subscribe through iTunes or YouTube. Tell your friends about it, and we'll be putting up more special content soon.